Yeah, let me share my screen. Here we are. Okay, I'll start in 1 second. Wanted to start on time, so let me just wait. Okay, here we are. So hello, everyone. My name is Gil. I'm the founder of a startup named Merlin BI, which is generative AI, doing generative AI for business with use cases across e-commerce, trading, and the creator economy. In my previous life, I was a product manager at e-commerce companies like Trivago, Amazon, and Mercari. So today I want to talk about generative AI as a new platform. And the focus of this talk will be first on sharing a mental model on how are the 4 levels at which we can integrate generative AI into products. I will start with examples on the large language models because it's the family of models that are the most mature to build a wide variety of products, but it's not limited to LLMs. We will also talk about that. And I will present shortly also a concrete example of how my company, Merlin BI, integrates large language model in our product at 2 levels. And I will eventually discuss where incumbents have opportunities that startups don't have and the opposite. So let's get started with the 4 ways to integrate, the 4 levels of integration of generative AI into products. The first one, the simplest one, you've probably seen a flock of startups as soon as ChatGPT released their API, flock of startups that allowed extraordinary capabilities. For example, the one on the left is able to take a research paper, a complex research paper, and in a few seconds summarize it into a few paragraphs that are much easier to read and comprehend. Another example I have here, I just found it on the Shopify App Store yesterday. So Product GPT, basically it's a plugin to Shopify that connects to your store that extracts your product titles and description and rewrite them in better. So those products, they basically take some content, external content, research article or app store information, pass it through to ChatGPT within the ChatGPT API with a prompt like rewrite those product descriptions in an easier to read way, or summarize this research paper, and they deliver the result to the end user. That's pretty simple. Yet, so already with this, we can see the common advantage that a large language model represents is that it lowers the need for specialized knowledge. So in all the world, if you had a research paper in front of you, you had to have an academic background and 4 hours in front of you to read it and understand what's the key idea inside it. Now, as a busy engineer who kind of understands science, you ship it to this product, you get a summary in 2 minutes, and you get an idea of what a complex research paper can do for you. The same with that Product GPT example. You don't need to be a copywriter anymore to write good copy for your product on your shopping website. Another level of integration of large language models is as using internal features as input to the LLM. So you have a website on the left. The example is LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn premium account, you want to post a job description. What LinkedIn does, it parses your company page with your company description. It parses the profiles of the company employees, and it's able, with a simple, you just write a job title, and LinkedIn, with this magic wand button here, creates the job description for you and it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty written better than what someone who doesn't have role expertise would be able to write. In a similar fashion, MailChimp, they integrate, you're writing your marketing email, MailChimp in one button can generate some of the content for you to help you. So as well, lowering the need for specialized knowledge in copywriting. And those specific examples are great for feature engagement. If you think at the cost for the user to try posting a job on LinkedIn, in an old world, I would not do it because it's not spontaneous. It would take me, I knew it would take me 2 hours to review the job description, prepare it and publish it. Now I know that in 1 second, I click on this button, I have a good job description ready and I publish it. Next level of integration of large language modeling products, more complexity here is a combination with existing technology as an input to the large language model. The example I have here on the left of my slide is this company who claims to be the ChatGPT for customer service. So it's basically a chatbot combined with the knowledge base of a company. And instead of asking the user to dig by himself in the knowledge base, which is painful, which does not always answer right the question, does not combine the information from multiple pages. What they do is basically they use a search engine, a very well-known technology. We've been doing search engine for 30 years. And so the user enters a question, the search engine is going to look in the knowledge base at everything that is somehow related to this question, and then combines all those results into a prompt for ChatGPT API saying, hey, here is the question from the user. Here is all the information that we found that may be related or not. Make a meaningful answer to this user, please. And that's how the user can receive the best answer that looks like produced by a human based on the actual knowledge base of the company. This specific combination with a search engine in the world of AI engineers, it's called retrieval augmented generation. But so the idea I'm presenting here is to combine with a tech as an existing technology as an input to the large language model, in contrast to the next point I want to make of the next pattern I have is combining a new technology that did not exist before, that has been created specifically to create an input to a large language model. In this case, I will talk about a personal example, the history of my company. So I've had this dream and starting with before LLM existed. So since 2013, it's been 10 years that I dream to automate data analysis. And I think it can make the world more intelligent, more informed by data. The idea is that I'm convinced that algorithms can do a better job at analyzing big data than humans. It's no problem for an algorithm to keep track of millions of dimensions in the data and not miss anything, really knowing everything that's happening there. It's faster, it's available anytime. So 10 years ago, I already tried to create a startup based on this idea, but my tech couldn't reach the right users. I'll tell you the story of this, and we'll get to the point of what LLM brought here. So 10 years ago, I had this crazy technology that was able to take raw, uninsightful data, process it with a machine learning brain, combine a suite of machine learning algorithms to determine what is interesting to see in the data. So an example is if you have an e-commerce website and your revenue dropped yesterday, you want to know why it dropped. You are running a marketing campaign, you want to know how to optimize it. You have products, you want to know if you have opportunities to change the pricing of these products. So my suite of algorithms were already able to take analytics data from an e-commerce platform and provide proactively this kind of insights. However, the final delivery, I didn't have LLM, so what I had at the time looked like some kind of technical dashboard. The final output of this complex core technology was a somewhat technical dashboard, which was not usable by a decision maker, an executive, or a product manager. They would just not read this. It looked like a technical tool for them. And then in turn, at the time, it was not a great, this is more like a tool for analysts then, but it was not a great sale to the analyst, because the analyst, the very idea of my product was to say, hey, algorithms are doing a better job than you, but hey, analyst, you still need to be involved using this product, because we need you to translate the final output into a meaningful report in plain English for the decision makers. So it didn't work that well. It achieved some success, but limited. No, 10 years later, my dream is finally coming true. LLM was the missing piece to my dream. And so what I'm doing is I decided to revisit the idea I had 10 years ago. So having a very strong core technology that is not available in the market. And this time, instead of having this technical output, straight to the user as a dashboard, as I had before, I'm taking this technical output and I use it as an input to the large language model. And I'm like, hey, large language model, this is my complex technical input. Please make it plain English, easy to understand for a busy executive who has a very short attention span. And I'm able to output now, instead of complex dashboards, I'm able to output reports in plain English, as you can see my example in small on the right. Reports in plain English with data, complex data insights translated in a language that can be directly processed by business decision makers. If you look at my slide, like from very close, the examples I have here, it's from a demo we've done with a cryptocurrency trading platform, but we have the same kind of output and application as well with e-commerce and other industries. E-commerce is actually our biggest growth sector right now. And so in that sense here, large language model for me is like a platform. It's like the one thing that enables me to reach the right user in the right context. If I didn't have large language models, it would be like if I developed Uber in 2004 on like the same Uber as we have right now, but on a laptop and requiring satellite connection to the internet. That's not convenient. You would not have a driver carrying that with them in their car. So the smartphone is what allowed to reach this technology to reach the driver in the right context, because I always carry a smartphone with them and the users. And so LLM is the same thing as the smartphone was to Uber for a new generation of product that is coming, so including mine. I've been talking about large language models. Just add a little note here to say that this categorization of ways to integrate generative AI into product is not limited to LLM. It's just, as I said, LLM is the most mature, but imagine if we had, so this is fictional, but if we had something as good as ChatGPT for video right now. Some people are working on it. It's going to take 3 to 5 years, but we will have it. So we have video GPT. If we have video GPT, so the idea of first integrating it with external content is the idea of, hey, I have this website where you can upload the script of a movie or a video clip, and my website takes it, called the Video GPT API, and returns a movie for you. Awesome. The second would be integration as internal feature. An example would be like if you have Google Slides, and Google decides to take the content of your slide and in an automated fashion delivers a video of your presentation. Combination with existing technology. The example I had earlier would work as well with video search and searching a knowledge base combined with video for customer support, talking to a real human on video, almost. And the more native case of using generative AI as a new platform by creating a new tailored tech specifically as input for to this generative AI model. As an example, imagine if we had this technology, very complex, that analyze all your health data, your health sensors, health records, blood tests, and acts as your personal doctor. So that's something that's not trivial to make, but if in the next 3 to 5 years someone can make it happen, this is great. There's already a market for that, but then the biggest market for that might not be easy to directly reach. Like if you want to reach elderly, people who use the doctors the most, they don't want to interact with a complex system on a computer or even on a smartphone. They need to talk with people. So now you have this amazing technology that analyze your health records. You combine it with, well, video GPT, and you're able to have a doctor in video talking to the older people who need to talk with a doctor. And that allows your technology to reach this $1 trillion market. That's how it could translate in video here. Now, 2 slides on just a more concrete example of how Merlin BI, my company, integrates large language models at 2 levels. So I gave you these four levels models earlier. The core technology of what we have, as I presented, does use specific technology that we developed that process an input, input data, pass it to the LLM, and creates a report in plain English from that. That's our core value, but there is one more thing, is that we don't ignore the other use case. So one more thing that we do is using the second way that I presented earlier, the internal features as an input to the LLM. So we actually generate data insight reports initially, but from that we generate also recommendations. And from the recommendations, what we do is that we take our reports as input to the LLM, and we say, hey, from this report that gives data insights and recommendation, please give like concrete action that can be taken with step-by-step action for a busy decision maker to get things moving right now. And that's basically just, yeah, an additional feature. It's not our core value. Like someone could copy paste this in our report into ChatGPT and get the same, but in integrating it in our product, make it very convenient and easy. The idea in this case is to remove any reason for a decision maker to not move forward with data-driven decision. If you get the report, you get the insight, you have the recommendation, and it just takes one click. In this example on my screen, we have an email already ready to be sent to the right team member with the context from the report to get things in motion. So we integrate LLM at 2 levels, one for as a core value and one more as a feature that makes it convenient. Now, I presented those 4 levels of integration. I want to emphasize that you might have thought that for yourself, especially when seeing the examples for the first integration, like with external content. Many startups right now create AI products do not really have a moat, do not really have a moat and can easily be replaced by product launched by incumbents. So all the top 3 in my list here, I believe existing companies who have more users, resources, and marketing, if they decide to launch something that's in any of those spaces, they will win. And if you have existing products, you should look to combine these ideas with your products. That would be great to increase your user engagement. That's where you can get an edge. Like an example, like right now, earlier we saw this company claiming to be ChatGPT for customer service, but if Service Desk, who already has the relationship, who already has a ton of useful data, decides to launch something like this, they will just take over the market of this startup in a finger snap, I believe. While on the opposite, if you develop a new core technology only dedicated that did not exist before to feed the large language model, then you have a moat. That's something new. That's a new paradigm. Typically, the kind of thing that existing companies have difficulties being competitive at, because they have the inertia of their culture, their expertise that was focused on their previous products. And while startups have the flexibility of creating something really new. So that's where, if you're a startup, I would say focus on this kind of opportunity of creating a new core technology where the large language model is for you a platform that allows to reach new users and disrupt the market. That's it for my presentation. The key takeaway, embrace the platform.
Fantastic. Shift. Thank you so much. That was really, really excellent. And where can people come and ask you questions?
Sorry? Yeah, we can do a question.
Okay, perfect. So I have to, in terms of timings, I think I'll have to pass on now to Rupert. I'll just bring him onto the stage. And thank you so much. That was really, really super excellent.